So we Bash Bros movies, and yeah, like we said in the previous review, or this is the next one, I really don't know. We just saw a double feature, Blade Runner 2049 being one of them and Stronger being the other one. Listen, I hadn't had, and I saw like the poster for this movie, and I expected to see a sports movie. And I
At one
didn't.
point, I actually did saw the trailer, so I actually knew what the movie
I
was about,
had,
which is a strange thing for me because I don't usually do that.
Yeah, and so I thought this is gonna be a movie about some athlete who portrayed by Jack Gyllenhaal, who's gonna have to come terms with losing legs or at least rehabilitating. One of his legs or both of them, after some injury. But that's not really what this movie was about, even though it was about it. So, strangely enough, if you haven't seen the trailer, without giving you away many spoilers, I mean, there's
You
not.
can't not spoil this movie because pretty much,
It's based on a true story. It's based on the events
it's
happened.
based on the book that is based on the actual events that happened in the April of 2013 during the Boston Marathon, namely the bombing that happened.
Yeah.
And we followed the life of Jeff Bowman, who was critically injured in the bombing. He was standing near the finish line when the first bomb blew up, and he lost both his legs above his knees.
Yeah, and he was one of the reasons they were able, like the whole thing was able, like he's the guy who saw the attackers and informed the police about it, and they were able to get to them more quickly. But I don't know, we didn't review Patriots Day, right? So
Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. What makes those two stories different is Patriots Day is focused on the bombing itself and on the ensuing manhunt that happened between the Boston PD and the FBI.
Exactly, but this movie is not about Boston Marathon.
This one's about Jeff Bowman's story.
Yeah, it's about Boston Marathon, but not the manhunt that ensued. It's about Bowman coming to terms with losing his legs and coming to terms with it and just learning to survive and press on and actually realizing that he's stronger than just losing his legs, that he can actually keep living on, that he doesn't have to end his life.
And what his journey does to the other people, the citizens of Boston, as they follow that journey.
Yeah, and this is mostly a drama. It's, I would say, coming of age story too, because I mean he's 28 years old during the events, so
but you see him
growing, maturing, and just realizing
through the process and through the experience.
Yeah, and so this movie isn't necessarily for like little kids, but I think, listen, I mean anyone can go see this movie, and it's very
blood.
emotional.
I don't know what they rated it as.
I wouldn't be. I mean,
they give it a R rating.
Yeah, there is that one scene with
because of the. But it's mostly because of the blood that happens.
Yeah, but there's that one scene with Jake Gyllenhaal in the tub right after he comes home from the hospital.
Yeah, with Tatiana Maslany.
Once she exits
so there's
the
like
bathroom.
one.
Anyways.
Yeah, there's some nudity and blood. Other than that, it's a solid PG-13 movie.
It's some language, but
when you take into consideration that most 12-year-old kids are watching horror movies, you're good.
Yeah, definitely.
You're cool. They can watch this.
Anyways, so this is a drama. It's not really a sports movie, but that doesn't make this movie. It doesn't make this movie any less attractive to watch or entertaining, or even like, I can't say entertaining, but it's, what is the word?
It's an emotional journey.
Yeah.
And it has its highs, it has its lows,
and
you get to see them all. You get to see the shooting in the bathtub and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, and
you get to see the good, and you get to see a lot of ugly, but at the same time, it is one man's story.
Yeah, and it's easy to connect with him because a lot of us have someone that went through some kind of similar experience. Some people went through it.
Or so just went through some tragedy and can relate. Yeah. Maybe not exactly to a bomb blowing off
or even losing your
legs, but there's enough of it. It connects with the audience in a deeper, very deep emotional level.
Yeah, and Jake Gyllenhaal,
you're gonna cry tears at some point.
Dude, I cried.
Like, it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
because it's really down to earth. It brings you into it, and it shows you the whole ordeal.
Yeah.
And you can't do anything other than connect with it. It's just that sort of a movie.
I agree. So, yeah, give it a rating, man.
A solid 23, 24.
Same
It's
here.
like my go-to rating, I guess. Like
For
it's
today,
generally
right,
it's
yeah.
a very good movie. The acting performance. Listen, you cannot talk about this movie and not mention Jake. Listen, the guy tried to go for an Oscar last year. I think it was last year with Southpaw.
No, that was 2 years ago. But I mean, he's been aiming for an like all his performances are top notch, Oscar worthy.
Listen, yeah,
It
and
just
this
so
one
happens
is
that
really just Usually they're out of the. Usually by the time the movie comes out, it's too early for the Oscars. This year, I think he's kind of on point.
Yeah.
The performance he puts in is definitely amazing.
Listen, I don't think. Usually, when I consider an Oscar performance or a nomination, I think is like. My first question is: could somebody else have done this and maybe done a better job, or just as good job as whoever we saw portraying? To me, when I think about Stronger, when I see and think about everything Jake did for this movie, I mean, they probably just put a pair of like green leggings on.
Definitely.
So it's
But
like
even
anybody
going through the motions of
I
walking,
think anybody
trying-
could have done that, but I think the whole ordeal that was portrayed here, I don't think anyone could have done a better job than Jake.
The way he portrayed it.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
there.
to me he definitely deserves an Oscar nomination.
And also
so,
talking
yeah.
about actors, Tatiana Maslany has to be mentioned. I was actually looking forward to seeing her in this movie. Like I said, I watched the trailer once, and I saw her in, and I'm not sure. I saw her in Orphan Black, and the job that she does there as an actress. I mean, she plays like 10 different people in the same TV show, and she does a spectacular job. So I really wanted to see her in the movie setting, and she was also amazing.
Listen, the character she portrays, like any girlfriend that would dump a guy 3 times for not showing up to some stuff is, I think, just ridiculous in my opinion. But
it happens a lot.
But that aside.
But
like,
the whole journey she has to go through. She dumps a guy, and he shows up at the marathon, and then gets blown away. She didn't even he was gonna show up,
but he usually never shows up, and then he loses his legs. Like,
and she sees it on the TV. She sees his picture, and it's like, and so you have her story and the way she.
Listen, I mean, I'm gonna spoil it just a little bit, but I don't care. Like, she goes back to him. Like, they end up back together, but she could have easily done. Listen, dude, like. You never showed up before, I don't know you anything, like you didn't know me, nothing, like you showed up, it was your own choice. She could have just, they could have just lived their lives separate from each other, never saw each other again, but the way everything plays out in the movie.
And the way they reconnect.
It's because at the moments I was thinking like, man, I'm guessing, like, I'm betting, like there's part of her inside her mind that's telling that the reason that she's with him again is because she partially blames herself. So it's like that needs to come out like in some way, form or fashion. And the way the entire relationship plays out is like everything does come out. It's like they talk about everything. There are tears are spilled, words are spoken, yelled at.
It's extremely emotional, touchy.
Very, and
from start to finish, but it is a great movie.
It's worth seeing it even on the big screen, and just it's a great story that I'm glad we got to experience this way. So 24 out of 30 for both of us. I think that's a solid rating. And listen,
a movie definitely worth watching.
Definitely, and
That's it from us.
Yeah, for today.
Thanks for joining us. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and
tell us if you saw this movie, if you plan on seeing it, how did you like it, what did you think about our review. So we respond to comments, and the well-written ones, not the trollish ones. Those get deleted. Till next time, Besh Bros out.